We ate at only the best restaurants in the waterfront of little old New York. Well, behind the best restaurants anyway. Hoffmeyer's garbage can belonged to me and my mother. Everybody knew that. That's Ma working on a steak bone. As for those mongrels thinking they were going to push us out of the way, that was a large mistake. Although I do not admire the expression, it was strictly dog eat dog on the waterfront. It was also at times quite a bit of fun. It wasn't just a salami. It was the thrill of the chase. The hide and the seek that I liked. And also my old friend Captain was getting pretty old and couldn't grub for food anymore. I liked to hide in the old warehouse. It was cool and quiet, and also happened to be where I was born. Sometimes I wondered if it was wise to bring my mother back there. She always got kind of a sad look. Then I began to get a glimmer of maybe what made her sad. It was what those other dogs barked at me, from a safe distance for them. Things like, where's your father? Ask your mother if you dare. You don't even know who your old man is. Well, being his mother didn't want to talk about the sad situation, I went to see my old friend Captain. Captain knew everyone on the waterfront, so I asked him. When Captain gets to his feet, you know it's serious. The last time he got up, an epidemic of distemper spread through the waterfront like fleas through a Muscovite's beard. The time before 2 cargo ships burned to the waterline. I got a little scared. Well, I asked for it and I got it. Both barrels. Captain said I was old enough to know. My father was a great dog, all right. Champion Regent Royal. How's that for a handle? He had courted my mother, fathered her children, without benefit of clergy, and then melted into the crowd, never to be seen again. Now I understood what those other dogs meant when they called me a dirty, no-good son of a black and tan. I made up my mind. First, to tell my mother that it didn't make a whisker of a difference to me. Second, I'd find my father and kill him. Mother wasn't home when I got back. I lay down and waited for her. She never came back. I won't bore you with my troubles during the next 2 weeks, but I'll say this. Without sleep, I covered every square foot of the city of New York looking for my mother. I never found her. But I did find something I never knew existed.
The Bowery, the Bowery, the Bowery. Only on the Bowery do you see the most amazing, the most fantastic attractions, such as the Patagonia Fire Eater, also the human crocodile.
What a place. And tough. So tough that down here in the Bowery, during High Mass, they allowed smoking in the last 3 rows. Such noise, such excitement. Every day was a clam bake. Everybody looked as happy as sin, even in a place they called a mission. I could not believe my eyes. Here in the Bowery were dogs who looked just like me, but they were living like kings. And you'll never guess why. Because they were dogs who fought each other. Not for fun and not for food, but for the sport of their masters. I remember Captain telling me about these professional mutts. With my mother gone, I had to find my own way in life. I had to make these men in the saloon notice me.
Hold on there. Hold it. Attaboy.
Where'd he come from?
Some nut house for dogs, I suppose.
Attacking masterful. Could have had his brains bitten out, but he's dead game.
He was doing pretty good there.
Why don't we toss him in with Masterful? He'll give the champ something to sharpen his teeth on.
Who'd bet against the champ now?
Me?
You're on. For how much?
Here, hold on, gentlemen, hold on. There'll be no free and easy fighting here in Corbin's place. That is unless Corbin gets a bet in first. Here, he has no collar, take that. Nobody owns him.
It looks that way.
Well, we can't fight him, can we?
Looks like he might be a real scrapper, Corbin.
Now, aimless fighting is a sin, gentlemen, and you know it. We only fight dogs for a record, or to establish a championship. Look at him. Listen, you riffraff. There's a great piece of dog flesh. Young, but as finely turned as the handle of St. Peter's harp.
At least mine, I saw him first.
I kind of like this dog myself.
Just a minute, gentlemen, just a minute. I make the arrangements here. Patch, come on, follow me, and bring the dog with you. Gentlemen, you're about to participate in the first, the only, the original dog lottery. Now, gentlemen, for $1, you can buy a chance on this magnificent specimen of a bull terrier.
Where does the money go?
You're the winner of the first man who doesn't pay his bar bill on Saturday.
Elsa, I had a dream about you last night.
Really, honey?
Yeah.
What?
Well, in this dream, you were found in an alley with your head caved in.
Really, Pat? Why?
Because you wouldn't give me $1 when I asked you for it.
Oh, really, Pat?
You have hidden charms, Elsa.
Not to my friend.
I shall pay this back with interest and affection.
You can, skip the interest.
Thanks, honey.
Thank you, sir. Any more here? Thank you. Jimmy, what about you? Well, we think it's Number 16.
Number 16. That's me, Mr. Corbin.
Gentlemen, the winner is Mr. Patch McGill.
You belong to Patch McGill now, do you hear? And you're going to be the toughest fighting dog in the Bowery. And you're going to do exactly what I say or I'll beat your brains out twice a week. Understand?
Ah, Patch McGill. He was just what I wanted my master to be. Tough. As tough as I'd have to be to fight. When Patch McGill smelled a loose dollar, he'd walk right through a solid brick wall to get it. I liked him. He was my kind of people.
Now, we're broke. I spent my last hard-earned dollar on you. We're going to need money. Now, you wait here until I come out for you. When I take you inside, you give out with a personality. If you want to eat next week.
Patch!
Hiya, baby.
You came a little late for this. I gotta get down to the Palace Gardens before Feinschreiber snaps the garter.
I tell you, there's nothing like watching a woman pretty up her face.
Better than working, huh?
I got a surprise that's gonna knock you right out of them little slippers.
You finally took a job.
Oh, anybody can get a job.
Yeah, anybody except you.
Well, honey, I've been waiting for one thing. A business of my own. An opportunity's finally knocking.
What kind of business?
The kind that puts me in quarter cigars and you in furs. Think of it, you can quit your job and live like a queen.
As Mrs. Patch McGill?
As Mrs. Patch McGill.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
All I need is 20 bucks.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna get it.
Oh, now look, honey, why make trouble? You always end up giving it to me anyway.
Well, this time I'm not gonna.
You'll give it to me, or I'll break you all to smash.
You just try it.
I don't suppose you want to watch any more of that. He asked her again for the money, and she turned him down cold. So he used a little psychology. He grabbed her by the throat and slammed her right up against the wall. Well, that convinced her. I'll never understand people. Because what happened next, you wouldn't believe.
Oh, Patch. You're a real strong boy.
Only when I'm near you. You're like fire in my veins. Well, aren't you going to ask me what business I'm in?
Oh, Patch. Don't give out with the act. Go on down and have a good time.
Oh, I mean it. You know, I don't take money from girls for fun. Now, this money's going to buy food, equipment, the finest training.
For what?
For a dog.
A dog?
Yep.
You give me that money back.
Now, wait a minute. This is a bull terrier. The finest I've ever laid my eyes on.
I don't care if it's a solid gold 10-carat greyhound. I'm not slaving every night at the palace gardens to keep a dog in bones.
This is a fighting dog.
For $20, I'll fight him myself.
I can make $500 to $1,000 a fight.
Well, who does he fight, Diamond Jim Brady?
Other dogs.
What other dog's got that kind of money?
People. People pay to watch. Why, I can make a fortune with wildfire. That's what I call him, wildfire. Did you ever see a fire start in the grass? It goes wild and sweeps right on through. And that's what he's going to do, sweep right on through to the championship.
Where'd you ever see any grass? They growing it down on the floor at Corbin's Saloon?
Would you like to see the dog?
You got him in your pocket?
Mabel Maycroft, meet Wildfire. I'm going to manage him to the championship. He'll parlay that $20 of yours into thousands.
That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
What did she expect? A peacock?
Stay low, stay low. Come on in, Walter. Stay low. Keep going. Good boy, Wildfire. All right, you can take a rest.
I never had any trouble fighting on the waterfront, but this professional fighting was different. This was tangling with dogs who fought to win. Because if they lost, they were dead.
It's the best steak money can buy. 13 cents a pound. Pure bottled springs water. I don't want you drinking out of gutters. You might get typhoid or something. This has got all the germs removed. Now drink it before any dust falls in it. From now on, you got two choices, kid. You can either be champion or dead.
Make it a half for
5 weeks later, I stepped into the ring back at Corbin's bar. In a room filled with rum, smoke, and money, the local sporting gentry had come to my first bout, which most of them figured to be my last. Well, Patch and me, we figured it different.
Remember what I told you. Don't waste your breath barking or growling. Don't show up with any fancy spins or slashes. Just drive in there and get them. 30 potatoes on you at 3 to 1.
Quiet! Quiet! Quiet, 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 please. Quiet! The betting is now closed, and there'll be no drinking during the fight. For a purse of $100, Paddy Corbin is most happy to bring you that always dangerous canine fighter, Guffey's Cantankerous. And the challenger, a newcomer to the Bowery, Patch McGill's Wildfire. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Ready?
Ready.
Face your dogs. Make ready. Fight! Go on, go on.
say that man was good or bad?
I'd say he was good, but it'd be easier to prove that he was bad.
Well, now take that. Take that, for example. It took man to teach a dog to fight for money.
I never heard of a dog that had any dough to fight for.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. Dogs still possess a spiritual wealth that men have lost. Would 50 dogs gather to bet their soup bones that one man could kill another?
I don't get you.
Well, look at it this way. Do dogs follow the leader? Do they drink because everybody drinks? Do they paint themselves blue because blue is fashionable? Oh, they do not. They're proud, self-reliant individuals. Would you mind wetting the bottom of that a little? And then man. Man lays his hand on them. He sees in dogs the qualities he has lost. But does he respect them? No. He exploits them, just as he's exploited his own soul.
One side! One side! Here comes the winner!
Carney, see if you can find some caviar on the free lunch table.
Okay, Pat.
The money, Corbin, the money. First in a long line of purses for Patch McGill. Drinks on me, boys.
I fought twice a week after that for almost 4 months.
Yeah, toast to wildfire! Yeah!
I was the talk of the sporting world. The hottest item since Bach beer. There's no need to show you any of the fights. They were pretty brutal. And I might add, while we now have those two great organizations, the American Humane Association and the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, better known as the SPCA, well deserving of your support.
Honey, we're living high up on the hog. Right, Wildfire?
High up on the dog was more like it.
Patch, you look like a real swell. Patch, watch out. You spill liquor on me.
That's 8 years old bottled in bond. You'll smell like a debutante at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, just don't spill the chaser on me, too. These are my best clothes.
Honey, stop worrying. In a couple of seconds, you'll be throwing them duds right out the window.
Why, Patch McGill.
What I mean is, I got you a little present.
Oh? For me?
Yep. From a guy who thinks of you the last thing every night and the first thing every morning.
Oh, Patch. You shouldn't have. Just my colors. Do you know what I feel like?
No.
A rich caterpillar.
Ah, honey, I've never seen anything like you. Just like you stepped out of a store window.
Yeah, right through the glass.
Oh, Patch. I bet there's not another woman in the world with a man like you. I knew you couldn't go on being a bum all your life. I knew you'd turn out good someday.
Well, honey, as long as I can keep on fighting, you're gonna live like a queen. I'm gonna buy you the best studs money can buy.
And you got such a good taste that Well, I hate to criticize.
Criticize what?
Him.
What's wrong with him?
Well, if there's anything I hate, it's a gaudy dog.
Listen to the rich caterpillar. Some nights when the bourbon and Mabel Maycroft's cheap perfume got a little too heavy in the air, I would sneak out. I always had the hope of finding my mother, but I never did. And I always had the hope of finding my old man, for a different reason. And I couldn't understand never meeting him, because he was called Champion Regent Royal. Yet the only champion I knew was a rough, tough, experienced murderer called Masterful. My next opponent.
To the memory of Masterful and the new champion, Wildfire. Gentlemen, the drinks are on Paddy Corbin. Look who's coming in. Look who's coming in. Look who's coming in. The heavyweight champion of the world, John L. Sullivan.
And a good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you for your kind reception. Now, come on, boys, get out of the doorway. Come on. This is no place for the likes of you.
John L. Sullivan. Now I can die happy.
Well, it's an honor to have you, John. The house is yours. What'll it be? No money, no money.
Well, bring me the biggest schooner of beer you've got in the place. Filled with bourbon. Well, could it be that Corbin's is always this popular, or is there some special event going on that has escaped me notice?
Patch McGill's Wildfire just took the title away from Masterful.
Well, now, that's the kind of a dog I can understand. Where is this champion? Tell him, John L. Sullivan would like to shake him by the hand.
That's John L. Sullivan, the prize-fighting champion of the world. Now, you walk down and look him right straight in the eye.
Well, you're the only thing on earth I've ever seen I wouldn't want to meet in the ring. Put your hand up there, boy.
Come here. Set him back down here and I'll buy him a drink.
Patch!
Hiya, Mabel, honey.
Well, what's going on? If I'm not being too inquisitive.
Money's going on, that's what. Real money. You ever thought of retiring? Traveling around the world on boats? Eating squab at Delmonico's? Buying your weight in chocolates? Or anything you wanted?
Yeah, Patch. You in trouble or something?
Trouble? Why, Mabel, honey, you're looking at the most successful financial operator on the Bowery.
Yeah. What are you doing with all my things?
Investing them. Honey, I need capital. Everything I own and everything you own. We're partners.
You bought 6 more dogs.
No, nothing like it. This is the only dog in the world for me. Man's best friend. Honey, you remember about 3 months ago in this same room when I told you opportunity was knocking?
Yeah.
Well, this time it's busting down the door. Why, this is no dog. It's a walking gold mine. In fact, I'm thinking of renaming him Pay Dirt.
But he's the champion. You're making money with him.
Small potatoes. This is going to be the real big killing.
Probably mine. What made this incredible performance worth listening to was that I didn't know what was up myself. I was curious as to how we were all going to retire. Alive.
This goes too, Uncle.
Yeah, I counted it.
Oh, one thing bothered me. I couldn't figure out why I, the champion, was a 5-to-1 underdog, if you'll pardon the expression. There was something about this whole thing that began to give me a chill.
Sorry for your trouble, Mr. McGill.
Nothing to be sorry about, Uncle. This is the happiest day of my life. There's my money, Corbin. You can take the bets on it. I get 5-to-1.
Do you really want to do this, Patch?
Why not? He's a champion, ain't he? Would the champion take on all comers?
In his class, yes, but not destruction.
A good big man can always beat a good little man. And destruction is good.
Yeah, and besides, he's a heavyweight, and he'll eat him alive.
What's a little weight? I'll take skill of a weight any day.
It's you who do the talking, but it's the little one who'll do the fighting.
I don't seem to recall your face, but put your money up if you want to talk with me.
I earn my own money. I don't have dogs do it for me.
Now, gentlemen, settle down. I'll take your money, and I'll arrange the bets. You know, there's something about him that a man has to like.
This is the one where we get rich, so make it quick.
Here comes destruction.
This was quite a dog I had to lick. He looked as if he had been sired by the devil and bred to the killing of tigers. His mouth was as big as my head. He looked like a freight train with ears.
Don't let him bother you, Wildfire. He's a pushover. He's slow, muscle-bound. Why, I know 3 cats who licked him in the past month. All he's got is an ugly face. Just don't look at it. Go get him, Wildfire.
I was sure gonna try. Not for Patch McGill and his miserable money, but for something called my life. Maybe I was selfish, but I kind of enjoyed living.
Now, quiet, gentlemen, quiet. The betting is now closed, and the fight will be underway in a minute. Now, as this fight is exclusively for money, we'll forget the formalities. Ready, Destruction?
Ready.
Ready, Wildfire?
Ready.
Fight!
Cur. A sneaking, yellow-livered street dog cur. Could have beaten him if you'd tried.
Et tu, Brute.
Fed you and housed you and nursed you like a king, and now you put your tail between your legs and sell me out. Everything I worked hard for is gone.
You mean everything he worked for and I worked for is gone? You never worked an honest day in your life.
Shut up.
That dog's got more character than you'll ever have.
It was the first kind thing anyone said to me all day. I felt like wagging my tail, except that I was hanging from it at the time.
So long, Patch. And don't ever come near me again. And just to make sure you don't, I'm going to marry a policeman.
It's all your fault, you mongrel.
I had about 1 bite left in me, and I found the perfect place to use it. I could hardly see, and my legs felt like I borrowed them from some other dog. But I knew I was through in the Bowery. I'd better get out while I was still alive. Right back where I started from, the waterfront. A whole year gone. I was just as far from finding my mother or my father. I was too tired to think. I only wanted to lie down, close my eyes, and forget the whole world. Maybe forever. What was the use of anything? Sometimes I wish the dog catchers had caught me a long time ago.
You're probably saying to yourself, who is this ugly old devil?
That's exactly what I was saying to myself.
Nolan is the name. Jeremiah Edward Emmett Augustus Nolan. I take care of all the animals around here. Though I'll admit, most of them can take better care of themselves if they're just left alone. There. Horse meat. Horse meat. It shouldn't be too tough, though. In his last race, it finished second. If it runs out of the money, we don't serve it. That's the kind of fancy estate this is. Here's what your doctor ordered for you. It eases the pain, it prevents infection, and it gives me a chance to get a clearer view of you. Well, eat a little, sleep a little, and then we'll see about the future. But don't get lonesome now. If you do, don't bark. No, I'll be back eventually. Yeah, oh, and most important of all, under no circumstances leave this room. The terrible-tempered Mr. Wyndham is due back home, and that can only mean trouble for man and beast alike.
I liked him. He was the first man I'd met in months who treated me like a dog. I still didn't know where I was, but it seemed like a nice, clean, friendly, quiet place.
I told you to have my daughter meet me. She didn't. And I asked you to send the gray mares. You didn't. And I asked the gardeners to trim the hedges. They didn't. Nolan, Tattle, O'Brien, all of you, be up to the big house in an hour.
Well, it was a clean place anyway. The next day I had my appetite back and felt like an animal again. Nolan was showing me around.
I've lived here almost since I was a boy. I know every foot of it. All right, dear. That's where he lives, Mr. Wyndham. He's got everything in the world but peace. So stay out of his sight, Wildfire, until he comes back to being the old Wyndham he used to be. I'm presuming, of course, you'd like to stay around here, eh? Would you like to be Nolan's dog?
Could you have said no to a man with a face like that? If you could, you're a better dog than I am, Gunga Din.
Of course, if you do stay, you won't be the only dog on the premises. Oh, no, no, no. See those buildings? They're the kennels. Wyndham's his special pride. One of my jobs is to see that those dogs live better than I do. They're St. Bernards. Ever see a St. Bernard? No, probably not. They're kind of like draft horses with raccoon coats. Only the fact that they're named after a saint prevents me from telling you what I really think about them.
Well, Nolan, what do you got there?
A dog, as you can plainly see. A white dog, should you be colorblind. Wildfire.
Wildfire, huh? Just out of the pits. A fighting dog.
Retired. What do you think of him, Tuttle?
Not what I think of him that counts, but what the old man thinks of him.
Well, I'll keep him out of his sight for a while.
Yeah, you better. The old man would throw another one of his fits if he found a fighting dog hanging around here. He might even get a little mad at you.
So he might.
You're the boss, Nolan. You tell him. You make him like it, whether he wants to or not. Do me one favor, though.
And what would that be, Tuttle?
Just tell me where you want the flowers sent. Oh, boy. That's a mean dog, Nolan. No sense of humor. Probably kill somebody before he's finished.
I had been called mean and vicious before, but nobody ever accused me of not having a sense of humor. I was prepared to dislike Mr. Tattle.
Now, never mind Tom Tattle. He's just young, full of young talk and big ideas. He's right about one thing, though. You've got to keep out of sight for a while down here in the barn. And whatever you do, Wildfire, at whatever cost, stay away from those St. Bernard kennels.
Naturally. When I had the chance, where do you think was the first place I went? You're right. Those were dogs? They must put something in the food. Why, the puppies were bigger than I was. And the way they lived, like one of my early dreams of heaven. Saint Bernards. For, saints, their comments left much to be desired.
Quiet!
But that's when I heard the voice, unmistakably British. It said, "In here, old chap, and shake a leg." It took all my self-control to sit there staring into a face that looked like something that fell off a totem pole. But as it turned out, he had a kind of style about him that grew on you. Said his name was Jimmy Jocks, and he was the house pet of Mr. Wyndham's daughter, Miss Dorothy. Speaking of Mr. Wyndham...
Where'd that white dog go? The one who was attacking the St. Bernard?
He's disappeared, Mr. Wyndham.
Did you see him, Nolan?
I saw no dog attacking the St. Bernard.
Well, I did. Find him and get him off this estate. I don't care how you do it. This isn't a home for stray mongrels.
Oh, I'm sure he's harmless, Mr. Wyndham.
And I'm sure I don't need your advice, Mr. Nolan. You just find him before I do.
You're not crazy enough to think of keeping that fine fighting dog, are you?
What if I do?
Just thinking of you, Nolan. You're too old to take a chance on getting fired.
Tattle, the reason I've been about here as long as I have is because when I was your age, I was working hard instead of talking so much. Now, let's get busy.
Sure, Nolan. I guess I can never hope to be as smart as you until I'm a real old man. Now, take it easy, old-timer. And if you do get caught, blame it on me. I can handle Wyndham.
That Tom Tattle made my hackles rise. Well, anyway, I hid out for a couple of hours with Jimmy Jocks. And what a big brain that Jocks was. He used words I never heard people say. He'd been all over the world and seen everything. Wonderful things like perfumed French poodles and Chinese fire hydrants. We struck up quite a friendship. Jocks didn't care much for the St. Bernards, but at the same time, he didn't want to tangle with one in a fight. You'd have to be a furrier to find their throats. The things Jimmy Jocks taught me. Did you know that dogs were here before people? That we invented such well-known phrases as puppy love, putting on the dog, and bulldog determination? That my Latin name is, now get this, Canis familiaris? The things Jimmy Jocks showed me. One day the sun was warm, and the air smelled like a department store at Christmas. And we just polished off about half a crate of Wyndham's finest strawberries. Jocks was in a good mood. Expansive, he would have said. He told me I reminded him of a great terrier named Champion Regent Royal. That was my father's name, Champion Regent Royal. No wonder I never found him on a Bowery. He wasn't a fighting dog at all, but a different kind of a champion. A show dog. Jocks then took me to a place I've never seen or heard of before. It was called a trophy room. After Jocks left, I stayed there a long time alone, looking at the prizes won by dogs of the most superior breeding. I thought about my father, the most superior of them all. I knew now I'd never get close to him. He lived in another world.
I don't know who you are, but you couldn't stand that way unless it was bred into you. You must be one of Mr. Canford's new terriers. If you are, he's certainly improving his stock. Here, now, don't tighten up. I just want to get a good look at you. Oh, I know. I'll bet you're the white dog Father was complaining about.
Holy Toledo, 3 of them.
Oh, Jimmy John, he'll kill him, he'll kill him.
My only hope was that they fought like gentlemen, because I didn't.
It's all right now, Jimmy. It's all right, really. It's all right, Jimmy.
Do I shoot him now, or would you rather do it down by the stable?
Father, 3 of those monsters attacked poor little Jimmy Jocks. They'd have killed
These
him.
are 3 of the most valuable St. Bernards in the world, and I don't intend to have any stray mongrel tearing at their throats. Come on, Nolan, let's get it over with.
I'll be no party to the shooting of a defenseless dog.
Well, then I'll do it myself.
Father, stop talking like Simon Legree.
Well, it's interesting to see what kind of people I have working for me.
Well, after 40 years, you should know.
Why don't you tell him whose dog it is, Nolan?
It's my dog, sir. I brought him in as a stable pet.
He's a fine animal, sir. A pit dog.
A fighting dog? A trained killer?
No longer, sir. He's intelligent, has a good heart, and we become friends. In the future, I'll see that he gives you no cause for further trouble.
Well, you get rid of him in 1 hour, or I'll shoot him on sight.
The dog will be out in an hour. And I'll go with him.
Father, what's the matter with you? He might really leave.
Let him. Let him. If he thinks so little of life or his job, he wants to waste it on a street dog, let him. Put those St. Bernards back in the kennel.
Come on, boy. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, boy.
I'm not overloaded with conscience, but I found a friend. I couldn't see letting him lose a lifetime job over a drifter like me.
No. You don't have to be a martyr and go running off to save me. No. You don't realize it, of course, but it's not your fault that all this has happened.
How do you like that? Not only does this guy treat me better than anybody I ever met, but for the third or fourth time he knows exactly what I'm thinking. I wondered if somewhere back in his family tree. No, it was too improbable. But still.
You know, Wildfire, Mr. Wyndham is a self-made man. He rose from a waterfront stevedore by his own ingenuity and the sweat of his brow. Yes. Like everybody in America, he had the dream of getting ahead. You get to a day when you can sit back, take it easy, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. In material things, in friendships, and most important of all, the luxury of time. Time to do all the little personal things you've always wanted to do, like reading the classics, trying to grow a blue rose, learning about good wine, and maybe doing something foolish just for the fun of it, eh? Well, after working all through his life to the day when he could enjoy himself, he suddenly collapsed with a heart attack. He's had 4 in the past 2 years. Yes, those business trips are in truth trips to a clinic. If he had another attack, he could die tomorrow, or next week, or next year. I'm the only one who knows of his misfortune, and that bothers him too. I'm a source of irritation to him, and every time we get together, we seem to argue. I don't want to live myself to see the day he drops dead from one of those arguments. So, it's best I go.
That's the 3rd brandy you've had in 10 minutes.
No, it's the 6th in 20 minutes. What's the use of a man working hard all his life to be able to buy the best brandy if he can't drink it?
But, Father...
Dorothy, I'll drink what I want when I want it.
And do what you want, and scream when you want, and be bullheaded when you want.
Well, I hardly have the time to live my life for a dog handler.
Or a daughter.
I'll run this house and this estate the way I want to. I bought it and built it, and I paid for it.
I thought you built it for Mother.
It was hers when she was here.
Father, ask Nolan to stay.
Absolutely not.
I'll ask him for you.
He had no right to bring a dog here, especially a street mongrel, a pit dog, trained to kill other animals before their time.
But that dog isn't a mongrel. You didn't see him posing in front of the trophy room mirror. He looked like royalty. Why, I could enter that dog in a show and win a ribbon with him.
Yeah, I bet you $50 that you couldn't. I bet you $50 you couldn't even win 3rd prize. Well, that pooch could win the booby prize. I'd give up drinking.
I'll make you an even more interesting bet than that.
How interesting.
If he wins a ribbon, both he and Nolan stay.
Daughter, that's a bet.
Was I had us swimming the English Channel. Maybe less.
There's Mother's boy, eh? Oh, there's a good one. Good.
My first shave. No comment. Some things your best friends won't tell you.
Now, Wildfire, let's learn how to be a real show dog.
It's discipline, boy. Discipline. Now, assume the position of a real champion. Stand up. Up!
All right, then, you lazy thing. Just stay there.
Well, maybe you can point like a hunter. Point.
Point to what? Besides, pointing ain't polite.
Stand up. Up!
Hey, fellas, I mean, after all, you can't make a fencing mess out of a stevedore.
Well, that's a little better. Oh, you aren't trying hard enough. And don't try to make up. It won't do you any good.
Terrible. It's terrible.
So it was terrible. Sue me. Special foods to fortify me, build me up and make my coat shine. Breathing exercises and how to walk. 6 weeks of junk like that. But 2 good reasons kept me going.
You just won't let me be friends.
He's a little nervous and agitated. He'll get used to you.
What a crazy thing to do. Bet your job this mutt would win a ribbon.
Oh, the bet was no choice of mine.
Well, I'm turning in. Oh, Nolan. I want you to know I'm sorry to be taking over your job soon. But that's life. The old make way for the young.
Sorry to take Nolan's job. If I ever saw a guy happy, it was Tattle. That was the first good reason I had to go through with the dog show. Maybe all the other dogs would drop dead and I might win something. Nolan can keep his job. And the second reason, him. He took to standing outside at night, watching me, as if he was trying to figure something out. Maybe wondering when he was scheduled for that last fatal heart attack. Or maybe he was hoping Nolan would throw me out and apologize. Nolan never would. The old guy was so honest, he was stupid. Somehow the day finally came, and there I was at my first dog show. I'd seen some pretty wild specimens in my time, but some of these took the cake. I began to get an idea of what happened to some of those characters who didn't get on Noah's Ark. They were entered in dog shows.
136. That right?
136.
Here, come on. There, in you go.
Go on in, Prince Galahad.
Obviously the wrong cage. I hoped. Prince Galahad. Oh, no.
Now relax, Galahad. You're as good as any of them, and don't you forget it. A lot of things are riding on you today. My faith, Nolan's job, and the honor of Wyndham. Now do your best.
All she left out was, if you need anything, bark. And then it happened. A dame just swaddled in class. Miss Ladyship II of the Canford estate. About 3 miles, she told me, from the Wyndham place. Well, we fell into some nonchalant chit-chat about fleas and dog biscuits and such. It was then that I noticed something going on in the front of my cage.
Good morning, Miss Wyndham.
Oh.
Good morning, Mr. Oakley.
Nolan.
How do you do, sir?
I haven't seen you at many of the shows lately.
Possibly because I haven't been to many.
I see. I didn't know you were raising bull terriers.
I'm not. This is just one that Nolan and I happen to inherit.
Prince Galahad of Wyndham. You, have no parents listed for him.
Oh, well, you see,
Unfortunately, the records were lost in a fire. But he comes of a good line.
Your word is good enough for us, Nolan.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Let's take a look at him.
What a cornball this guy was. I could have been a mongoose for all he cared. I'll bet he was just hoping to sneak a look at Miss Dorothy's ankles. They were pretty well covered up.
Miss Wyndham, you're not seriously entering this dog in this show.
I certainly am.
You don't know much about this breed, do you?
Is it necessary to know anything? He's a good dog. I paid my fee and entered him.
Miss Wyndham, don't you realize that
I am
this
not
dog...
interested in your opinion until he gets up there on the judging stand, Mr. Oakley. And if you're angry with me, don't take points away from the dog.
Miss Wyndham, I am an honest judge of everything.
As if I didn't have enough troubles. Now I was responsible for a love affair. The next thing I expected to hear was that if I didn't win a ribbon, every third baby born in New York would be thrown in the East River. It was enough to make me nervous.
Well, good luck in the show, Galahad.
Here. Here's a little something to keep you from getting hungry. There. Good hunting. Tune up.
What I really needed was about 2 shots of that rye they poured at Corbin's Saloon. Or maybe what I needed was... At least the flatheads could have looked at me a little longer. Pretended like I was worth the time. It would have made Nolan and Miss Dorothy feel better. I had a good mind to take a bite out of that imported tweed seed of Oakley's.
Your attention, please. Third prize in the Bull Terrier judging. Miss Ladyship II of the Canford estate. Second place ribbon goes to Cavalier of the Wellbrow Kennel. And the blue ribbon winner, the best of breed, Miss Dorothy, Prince Galahad of the Wyndham Estates.
Holy Toledo. Talk about the fix being on. What a phony decision. The things a guy will do for a doll.
Congratulations, Nolan.
Oh, really, Nolan?
Oh,
Thank
you
you, sir.
wonderful,
Thank you.
beautiful dog. If you were a man, I'd marry you tomorrow.
I could hardly wait to be reincarnated.
Why you entered Prince Galahad in this local show, I couldn't understand. He was way out of his class. One look at him would tell any judge that he was a winner before he ever stepped into the judging ring.
Really?
Really? He's the best bull terrier I've ever seen since Champion Regent Royal.
Champion Regent Royal? My old man. Even the experts said he was perfect. Well, maybe that blue ribbon I won was really on a level. Wildfire McGill, butcher boy at a Bowery, was now Prince Galahad Nolan, darling of the Society show dog circuit. I could hardly wait to tell Horatio Alger.
I don't know what to say, Mr. Oakley, except that I misjudged you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right, Miss Wyndham. Will you have lunch with me?
I'd be delighted.
Nolan?
Thank you, sir.
A more stupid exchange between two people obviously in love you could hardly imagine. It comes from too much education. Reading love novels written by old maid spinsters. Now, on the Bowery, she would have kissed him and lifted his wallet, and he'd have gotten roaring drunk on credit and beat up every man who as much as looked at her. Now, that's real love.
Well, I'm as surprised as you are, sir, that he did so well. I just wondered if we could set him up in a kennel. There is one empty. He could get good care like the other...
Absolutely not, no. He's still nothing but a street dog. Get him off the table.
Father. Down, Wildfire.
Well, you were something of a street dog yourself, sir, once, weren't you?
Nolan, so help me out, get rid of...
Father, he's in the right to be taken care of.
I don't need anybody to take care of me.
I was talking about the dog. He has better manners than both of you. And what must he do to satisfy you? Win the Grand National?
Ah, shucks.
Winning a neighborhood dog show where George Oakley would give you the world if you smiled at him. Hardly qualifies this Bowery tramp as a champion.
Father, George Oakley didn't give me those ribbons. There were 2 other judges. And George said he's the most perfect bull terrier he's seen since Champion Regent Royal.
That name again. The sound of it made me want to get in this Brannigan myself.
You're the most stubborn man I've ever known.
Please, Miss Dorothy, I'm sure he doesn't mean to...
He's been like this for a year. Shouting, criticizing, hating everything he doesn't own. Well, you don't own this dog. And before Nolan and I are through with him, you're going to be begging for a chance to hold his leash. He's going to win the Grand Nationals at Madison Square Garden.
I could almost always count on him being there, watching me. We all had our problems. But it came to me that Wyndham's was the biggest one of all. He couldn't hate everybody and everything as much as he pretended. He was a self-made man, and that was something I could appreciate. So I decided to stick my neck way out. If I got it chopped off, I could only say I asked for it.
Would you care to go for a walk?
We walked for about 10 or 15 minutes, and he didn't say a word. Once in a while, he just looked down at me, as if he was trying to make up his mind about something. What do you know? The old boy was so sure I'd go with him, he had a couple of dog biscuits ready.
Well, I hear you were quite a dog. The terror of the Bowery, wasn't that it? Taking a chance on getting killed twice a week just to keep a Bowery bum and spending money. Does life mean that little to you?
Of course, I couldn't answer him. But if I could, I would have said that dogs are no different from men. They do what they can to stay alive. And when they run out of cleverness or courage, one day they turn up dead.
Pit dog, huh? A fighter. You know what it means to suddenly face death, don't you? Doesn't seem to bother you in the slightest. It occurs to me maybe there's something I could learn from you. What's a man come to when the only one he'll let himself look to for help is a dog? Come on, boy. Come on. Get him. Get him out of there. Get him. Come on.
We walked for miles, and I listened to him talk for hours. No one ever noticed us. And I got this to say about him. Underneath all that shouting and bluff, he was as great a guy as I'd ever met. He wasn't afraid of dying. His mind was so full of life and ideas that he felt cheated because his body was shortchanging him with time.
It was a pleasant evening, old boy. Why don't you go to bed?
But I had problems of my own. I just couldn't get that Miss Ladyship II out of my mind. It was 3 miles to the Canford estate as the crow flies. Unfortunately, I was born a dog. Over hill and dale, through shot and shell, anything for love. La da 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 da. Dames. They want you to climb mountains, swim oceans, go through fire. When you finally get there, they say, why don't you go home and clean up? But you can't always tell. Sometimes they change their mind. Oh, well. 2 weeks went by like that. I never got any sleep or any rest. I suddenly found my life belonged to a 24-hour company called the Wyndham, Miss Ladyship, Nolan, and Miss Dorothy Corporation. Buyers and sellers of that miracle product, Wildfire.
Come on, boy. You've slept long enough. We've got a hard day ahead of us.
Oh, Nolan.
What are we going to do?
Oh, I don't know.
He must be sick.
Sick? No temperature, no infection.
Maybe he's homesick for someplace.
Oh, where he came from, there's a price on his head. He'd never want to go back.
I know.
What?
He's in love.
Ah. Why don't you say he wants to study the piano or something sensible?
Well, he has all the symptoms.
And who would he be in love with? The Queen of Romania?
I don't know, but look at him.
Do you know what's really wrong with him?
Worms.
An inferiority complex. He probably thinks a dog from the Bowery has no right in Madison Square Garden.
Now who's talking nonsense?
Isn't it odd? Neither one of them was talking nonsense. They both hit her right on the head. It was enough to make me feel ashamed of myself. I sure wished I could find my mother somewhere. She'd make me feel better.
You know, sometimes I wonder if we're not being foolish. Even if he gets in the big dog show in the garden, you know who he has to face, don't you? Champion Regent Royal.
That's the news I was waiting to hear. Suddenly I felt great. The world wasn't big enough to hold me. What a wonderful feeling. I was finally going to get my chance to kill my father.
Come here, boy. Come on. Bring it here, boy. Here. Good boy. Bring it here. Bring it here. Go on, fella. Go on.
I see you and the old man out for a walk, huh? That's good. Poor old fella needs somebody to talk to. You're quite a dog, Wildfire. Quite a dog. Why don't we be friends, huh? Okay. I don't have Nolan's touch with dogs. Maybe I did something that made you sore at me. I don't know. You can't hold it against me forever, can you? I made a mistake. I admit it. Come on, shake.
I didn't like that tattooed smile on Tattle's face. But the guy was trying so hard to be friendly. What could I do?
There. It was easy, wasn't it? You and me me we're the same breed, Wildfire. When we see something we want, we go after it. Relax. All your troubles are over.
That cloth smelled like Mabel Maycroft's lousy perfume, and it was just as deadly. What happened next, I only learned later. At the time, I was strictly hors de combat, which translates roughly to a fraction on chloroform. When I heard that tin pan piano, I knew I was back at Corbin's. And I knew I was in trouble. I don't know the exact price that Tattle got for me, but I can only guess it to be somewhere around $40. Back to the dog-eat-dog circuit and Patch McGill.
Right where I always dreamed I'd get you someday. Right here in Patch McGill's fist. How's it feel, you mongrel?
Fortunately, I couldn't feel a thing.
Ransom.
Well, Mr. McGill prefers it to be called a reward for finding your dog. Oh, I have no hand in it. I'm just a messenger. They told me to tell you you could take it or leave it.
But $2,000.
There'll be no $2,000. It won't be as much as $2 even. I'll see Patch McGill.
Very good, gentlemen, very good. The animal means nothing to me. But I shouldn't say that, because he does mean something to me. He's a grand piece of dog flesh, and he's entitled to a decent home. And I think you're the man to give it to him. But apparently not.
Wait a minute. Just a minute there. $2,000, huh?
Cash, McGill says.
Don't give him the money, Mr. Wyndham. I love that animal, but this is criminal.
I want that dog back, and they know it. I'll be there tonight.
Well, you go down Mulcahy Street.
Never mind the directions. I could find that place with my eyes shut. You can hear the screaming of the dying dogs a mile away.
Oh, them are not dogs. Them are customers who've had their credit cut off. Well, thank you, gentlemen. You've taken a great weight off me mind, and I'm much obliged to you. And I can't say more than that. Good day to you, gentlemen. Good day to you.
Excuse me. I'm looking for someone with the name of Patch McGill.
I happen to be that gentleman. May I inquire who's calling?
Wyndham is my name.
Well, Mr. Wyndham, what's your pleasure? A glass of beer? The introduction to one of our sweet young ladies, or is this a business call?
It's business.
Ah, the most charming word in the English language. Shall we repair to the conference room?
Yes, by all means.
I hope you brought it in small bills.
No, I brought it in this.
This is a personal quarrel, gentlemen, an affair of honor.
Good for you, sir. We'll see you in a little while, Galahad. We've got many things to do before the show. You relax. Let the judges do the worrying. Yes.
I don't have to tell you how important this is, do I? Win this show and you're the champion.
Yes.
Now, you just forget all about the ribbons, old boy. Have yourself some fun, huh? Mean more when you're 80. You know, maybe when this show's over with, I can find you a girlfriend.
What a guy. It was a tough choice. All these people to whom I owed so much wanted me to win the Gold Cup. And I wanted to do the one thing that would lose it for me. Kill my father. The choice got tougher every time I looked across into Miss Ladyship's eyes and saw what I was throwing away. The more I looked at her, the less I hated my old man. After all, if it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't be here, would I? I mean, I wouldn't be fighting for the championship, making a lot of nice people happy and trying to win the paw of a fair lady. I'll bet he's a pretty good old gaffer at that. Maybe it'd be enough to take away his cup from him. Why not be noble about the whole thing? Noble and smart. There he was at last, my old man. Pretty good old gaffer. Well, not him. What a character. Arrogant, cocky, a real wise guy. So he's a champion. Well, so what? Well, that did it. Was no woman safe around this guy? Let Nolan and Wyndham win their own cups. I had unfinished business.
Keep that man away from Regent Royal. This dog is too expensive.
Oh, is that so? Well, if you want to keep him valuable, take him out of the show. Because after it's over, he won't be worth anything. Nothing.
He took the words right out of my mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will allow the judges to tally up their scorecards, we will announce the winner in the Bull Terrier class for the Championship of America.
All these nice people had come to the garden to see a show. Well, they were sure gonna see one. They were about to see which dog was the best. Bowery style. Win, lose, or draw. I was going after my own man.
The final decision in the Bull Terrier competition. The winner and new champion, Prince Galahad of Wyndham. Nolan, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
George, Mr. Wyndham.
Congratulations, Nolan. It's wonderful, isn't it?
This was the moment of truth. The time for the kill. Everything inside of me said, go get him. But suddenly I just couldn't move. Maybe it was the way he took it on the chin. A champion, even in defeat. And I understood then why my mother had loved him. I'd taken away his championship, and he would never know I was his son. That seemed punishment enough. A funny thing. I came wanting to teach my old man a lesson. Instead, I had learned a lesson myself. Where did those guys get off making fun of the champion? We all have to lose someday. They would murder him. My old man sure needed a friend now, and I was his boy. Toledo. Me and my old man, we sure started something. I had crossed the Rubicon. There was no turning back. I had torn up my invitation to all the things most men and most dogs want. Security, social prominence, and the love of a beautiful girl with dough.
Easiest catch I ever made. Came in low and fast. Yes, sir. Home run on the very first twist. Well, now settle down. Take it easy. Take it easy. You got no worries at all from here on in. You got a new visitor.
Say, sic transit gloria mundi, or the paths of glory lead but to the dog catcher. The only part that hurt was the thought of passing my last moments with as scurvy a bunch of mongrels as had ever been picked up on the streets of New York. They looked like something that had escaped from Madame Tussauds waxworks on a very hot day. I'm certainly glad my mother couldn't see me now. Mother! At long last, I'd found her. I was so happy, I almost forgot we were behind bars and heading for that long, slow walk to the gas chamber. If only the Mounties would arrive in time.
Mister, did you happen to see a white bull terrier about so long and about this tall?
Seen him. Why, he come running down through here as if he's trying to make the post office before they closed it. But I timed it perfectly. I drew back and I bagged him on the wing.
You got him in here?
Locked tight.
Mister, he's the champion bull terrier of America.
No kidding. My first champion, huh?
Will you unlock the gates here and let me have him?
No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. There's a city ordinance against dogs running loose on the street. Thank heaven.
Yes. How much?
Are you trying to corrupt a civil servant?
Certainly.
Good. I've got 10 dogs in there. I'll make you a deal for the whole lot of them. $2 apiece.
Mm-hmm. Here's 50.
What are you going to do with the other 9?
Why?
For another $1 apiece, I'll take them off your hands.
Mister, they're yours for nothing.
Well, off to the hunt. Tally ho.
Come on, Wildfire, let's go home. Come on, boy. Now, don't worry about what happened back there. That was one of the greatest sights I ever saw. Oh, I see you picked yourself up a friend, huh? Well, bring her along. If you like that little old lady, that's good enough for me. Come on, boy. Come on, girl. Well, Miss Ladyship. Hello, girl. We're glad to see you. Hey, you know, I think we may have the makings of a nice little family here. Miss Ladyship, I think you not only found yourself a husband, but, Wildfire, you kind of look like her around the eyes. Maybe we got ourselves a mother-in-law, too. Well, Wildfire, girls, come on, let's all go home. Here we go. Come on. Congratulations, Father. There's 2 boys and
3 girls.
How about that?